Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. A sensational Saturday afternoon card on tap at Gulfstream Park featuring the Fountain of Youth for 3-year-old colts. And this race, let's throw up the field for the Grade 2 Davona Dale 3-year-old fillies hoping to take that next step on the road to the Kentucky Oaks. The Davona Dale is a one-turn mile race. We've got a field of 9. Todd Pletcher back in business with the very impressive Spice is Nice. She only sold for $1,050,000 and she looked like it in her debut.
She really did. It was throwback Todd Pletcher 2-year-old in that race, although she was actually 3-year-old when she made her debut. But it feels like it's been a while since I've seen one of those Pletcher firsters really go out there and run a huge race.
Let's throw up the Timeform U.S. pace projector for this year's edition of the Davona Dale, and we've got Spice is Nice sitting second in the early going off the stretch out sprinter chart. I think Timeform U.S. has pegged this perfectly.
I can't argue with that. It'll be interesting to see what Chart does down on the rail because she looked pretty good first time out.
Good segue. Let's watch Chart's career debut, the stretch run that is, at Tampa Bay Downs. She's on the outside. She's been prompting the pace from the start. You see, a little bit late to change leads once she makes the lead, but she's going to change over right about now, and once she does, boom, she kicks clear of this field. She got a big fig for a first-time starter, 76 buyer. Now, she's going to stretch out, but I look at her pedigree and I say a one-turn mile should be well within her scope.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, who knows if she's going to handle it right away as she steps right out from maiden to Grade 2 stakes race, but I think eventually she's going to get it. I liked everything about that debut, Dan. They bet her in that race. She had speed from the start, but you know what? She was content to take a hold and let that other horse go to the front and just sat off her, and you saw what she did in the stretch. Once she took it over, I liked the way she finished it off. I liked everything about her debut. I'm very interested to see how she runs here. Dream
Marie is the number 2. It'd be a nice story if Dream Marie could somehow get it done at a big price. She has won her last 3 races. She has steadily climbed from a $20,000 maiden claimer into this year's edition of the Davona Dale. Let's watch her most recent start. She is 2 for 2 going the one-turn mile on dirt at Gulfstream. And we're going to take a look at Dream Marie. She's the gray on the outside. Adalind is also in this race. Adalind was kind of part of the pace picture. Dream Marie ran him down.
Yeah, I mean, she got a good trip overall in this race because Adalind, no matter what you think of her, she had to contest the pace there with that favorite around the turn. This horse sat in behind, came clear in the stretch, ran him over. She's now 3 for 3 on dirt, 2 for 2 with the one-turn mile, and they're going to step her up in class and test her now.
Emily's Oasis is the number 3 going out for trainer Ian Wilkes, making her first start as a 3-year-old, a daughter of Triple Crown winner American Pharaoh. Third last time out to Bayerness, who's also in this field. Maybe over the winter she did some growing up. Yeah. She certainly has the pedigree to go a mile off the layoff. She's been working quickly for her seasonal debut. I don't know, Mike, usually with the Ian Wilkes trained horses, whether it's first-time stars or off a layoff, I like to give them a race.
Yeah, I sort of agree with that. We'll see what we get here. She clearly has to improve if she's going to beat this field in her 3-year-old debut, but she is eligible to have taken some steps forward.
Perhaps the most fascinating runner in this race is the number 4, Nikki and Papa, a $500,000 daughter of Mineshaft, who made her career debut in the Grade 3 Forward Gal Stakes, and she broke terribly from the rail, and it looked like, well, this first-time star is just going to be in for a long afternoon. No. She then got in a little trouble turning into the stretch, altered down on the rail. She was running late. This filly has some ability. Is it too much too soon?
I mean, probably. I don't get what the hurry is with this horse. I know they paid a lot of money for her, but debut or in a graded stakes race, second career star in a graded stakes race. We'll see if she can get out of the gate a little better. She was a total disaster from the gate first time out. And yeah, I appreciate that she made a run to catch up to the field, but she was already under a full-out drive by the time she caught up with that field and just sort of stayed on evenly at the end of the race. Wasn't a real threat at the end. I know she can do better, Dan. I suspect that she will do better. I still would like to see her in a maiden race.
Reluctant Bride is up next for Pat Biancone. This horse is raced exclusively on the turf. She has been training well on the dirt, and we have seen Pat Biancone do this. Horses like Ete Indienne, who's in the main event in the Fountain of Youth, and others have run well on turf. They've switched surfaces successfully. What do you think of this pedigree for dirt?
I think it's pedigree is all dirt, so we'll see what happens if she can make the surface switch. She's obviously run fine on the turf, but she's a Speightstown. Her dam was a multiple graded stakes winner on dirt. She won 2 Grade 1 races on the dirt. This filly is supposed to handle this surface switch, and it would be far from surprising to see her take a big step forward in here.
Here's the morning line favorite, the number 6, Spice is Nice. Again, she cost 7 figures as a Keeneland September yearling. She is by Super Sire Curlin. She's got a giant pedigree and a giant debut race that we're going to watch right now. She exploded up the inside on the far turn. Really nice trip and ride from Johnny Velasquez, and now she's just going to continue to improve her position. She wins by 12, an 84 buyer speed figure, and let's be honest, she even improves takes normal second out improvement. This field's in for a long afternoon. She's very dangerous and probably the horse to beat.
I think she might be the horse to beat. She was really good in her debut. The saw her just ridden out at the end once she took the race over. She's got the right trainer in her corner. She's already been the one-turn miles. You don't have to worry about that. She showed good tactical speed in her debut. And she's got the pedigree, too. Her dad, this is the first foal from Dame Dorothy, who Fletcher trained, and she was a runner in her own right. There's plenty to like about this horse, and she'll be a short price in here.
Bayerness is up next, and she's 2 for 2 in her career. Let's go back to her career debut at Keeneland during their fall meeting. And Mike, not a great start for this horse, going 6 furlongs, a little bit green in the stretch, but she finishes very nicely.
I liked this debut from her. This sort of had to do some chasing early, but once she got out into the clear, I liked the way she finished it, Dan, and I liked the way she came forward out of this race. Her second start was a one-turn mile over a wet track, and she looked good again. She was very game to run down a loose leader in the stretch. I like both of this filly starts.
I agree, and I think the longer distance is going to help her, as it did last time out. It was a wet track. We always have to be careful about that, but she was prompting outside and turning into the stretch. The favorite shot on through inside of her to make a clear lead. You're right. She showed a lot of heart and determination to go get that horse late. She's going to stay on. It'll be interesting to see what we get off the layoff, but I think this horse is okay.
No, I do too. Maybe she'll need one off the layoff here, Dan. We'll find out about that. It's not like she comes back in some kind of easy spot, but both of her starts at 2 were very good.
Let's talk about Adalind. We'll give her extra points for her last race because she was dueling it out. We saw Dream Marie run her down in the stretch. I guess maybe she can be a pace factor in here, pushing Chart, but I'm not sure that's exactly the trip I want, chasing a very promising, sharp horse with some nice horses, Spices Nice, Bayerness, Tonalist Shape chasing.
Yeah, I guess even if you want to give her some extra credit for dueling with the favorite in that race, which one of her other races do you really get excited about? It just feels like she's got to take a huge step forward.
Tonalist Shape was 3 to 10 last time out in the forward gal. She's going to be a much better price despite being 4 for 4 in her career and having an 89 Beyer speed figure on her resume from 2 back. This Beyer dropped 19 points. We see her on the outside. We see Nikki and Papa, who's caught up to the field, the one down towards the rail. Tonalist Shape wins this race like she has to. It's her first start of the year. It's going 7 furlongs. I wonder if Saffie Joseph really got to the bottom of her. You see she is geared down the last 200 yards or so of this race. Love this outside post position for her. Attack mode sitting just off the pace. Tonalist Shape is a horse that might get lost in the shuffle from a wagering standpoint because I think Spices Nice is taking a lot of money.
That's how I looked at it too. Her win last time, it almost just felt like she did, as you say, what she had to do. She was a super short price. Did get out. You saw her getting after her in the stretch there to take the lead over, but once she had it put away, he just took her in hand at the end of the race. I'm not going to worry about the Beyer drop. All 3 of her races at the end of last year were really good, and I just had the feeling, I don't know if you agree with this, but when I watch her race, I know she's 3 for 3 sprinting. She looks to me like a horse who gets better with a little bit more distance. This one-turn mile, I think, is a perfect distance.
Would it be a surprise being by Tonalist,
no,
the Belmont Stakes winner? It seems most of his progeny right about now. We're starting to see the first crop of Tonalist hit their stride. They're getting more distance and maturity. Top pick time. Mike sent it at his top pick. He's a fan of Tonalist Shape, hoping to make it 5 for 5 in the Davona Dale, and I think a good trip's coming.
I just like all of her races, Dan. I'll be very interested to see what Spices Nice does. She was really impressive first time out, but I just feel like Tonalist Shape might be the right price this time if they go overboard on the Fletcher horse.
I had a tough time separating my top 2 picks, and I ultimately went with the horse with the better price. Bayerness is going to be a better price than Spices Nice. I liked how she dug down deep to get it done last time out at Churchill Downs, and we'll see how she does off the layoff, stepping up in class. But I think Bayerness might have a little bit of ability. 7-6-1-9 for me, 9-6-5-7 for Mike. It's the Grade 2 Davona Dale 3-year-old fillies with an approximate post time of 3:59 Eastern. Best of luck.